we're back from holidays. Everyone had a good time. Did you have a good Diwali, a good Kwanzaa?
I had a great Christmas.
That's good.
I got a boyfriend. That was fun.
That's good. Yeah.
Notably.
always good.
Wait, but now that means we can't talk about how single we are anymore.
Well, speak for yourself.
Mike is still horribly single, so
no,
now...
not horribly. Listen, I don't know. Was not expecting to jump into this right away, but I'm having a great time. I like being able to do what I like to do whenever I want to do it, all the time. For example, I saw a lot of movies.
We have so many
Christmas.
of Mike's movie reviews that are going to appear on TikTok.
But they won't happen this episode because you have to see Squid Game, number one.
Yep.
For you to do that. I saw it for the first time ever. But I had some time with my family, which is really nice. However, pretty much all of my family got sick over the holidays.
Not ideal.
And so I went back to my apartment around like the 27th, 28th. Oh, on top of that, actually, forgot to tell you. So my fridge broke.
Oh, good.
But it broke on December 20th.
Is this the fridge at home or the fridge?
No, the fridge in my apartment.
Oh,
so the fridge in my apartment broke. I didn't realize. So it broke on I think either Friday night or Saturday morning. However, I'd gone back to my parents' house for that weekend just to because my sister was home, just to see her. All that was great. What I didn't realize that my fridge broke, and instead of just not working, it started blowing hot air instead of cold air. So I woke up. So I come home Sunday night because I watch football with my sister, and my dad, and all that. And I wake up on, and I don't because I've already eaten, so I don't open my fridge for anything. I wake up on the Monday morning and I go oh boy, can't wait to go to work. This is great. And I'm like, something smells weird in here.
Oh no.
What's going on? What's going on? And so I open my fridge and I get blasted in the face with, just oh God, I had to throw out all of my food.
And I'm sure your landlord was very easy to deal with.
So
notoriously easy to deal with landlord.
So I had to throw out all of my food, which meant I was living off of bottled water and takeout for a while. When do you think when do you think I got a new fridge? So I texted my landlord on the 21st, I believe, being hey, my fridge is broken. She had the super of my building.
No, the 21st would have been the Saturday. So if you went to work on the 23rd.
I texted her on the 23rd.
You got a new fridge on the 29th.
On the 28th.
I was close.
So it was a while. But that parlays.
I mean, did she charge you for it? Because
no.
Oh, okay. So then
however,
progress.
She was out of town, when I texted her.
Okay.
And so it's not. And so she's you have two options here, basically. So you can wait until I get back, which is before the new year. She didn't tell me when she was getting back. So before the new year, or there's a fridge in because the building that I'm in, it's a split house.
Yeah.
And so there's obviously a wall in between where the house there's it's a combined.
It's a
house.
semi-detached.
Yeah, it's a semi-detached. So the unit that is on the other side of my wall, so I would have to go out and around. She's that's vacant and there's a fridge there. So if you want to move it, go for it. Otherwise, you're gonna have to wait until I get back.
No.
And so I'm so you want me to do work? No, that's not gonna happen. I say this to say, I had to wait. And the thing about fridges too is if you transport them on their side, you have to wait 24 hours for the coolant to set. So I couldn't use my fridge. I couldn't do anything. So I'm all right, it's the morning of the 28th. I'm gonna go see a movie. So I went out and I went to go see Baby Girl. The Nicole Kidman erotic thriller. It was good. However, I went to go see it at 11:45 in the morning.
Psychopath.
And so I get to the theater, and it's by the way, the theater that I went to for this, because it plays somewhat artsy movies, is it's the Bloor Varsity Cineplex.
Oh, I love
it's a great theater. I love that theater.
If you don't know what theater we're talking about, and most of you will not, it's a very old theater. It's and it, like he said,
it's in the Manulife Center, but it plays they all have. It plays the artsy limited release movies. I love it. So I went there. The guy.
It's almost like going to TIFF. It's like nice. A TIFF light box without being TIFF light box.
It's fantastic. And so I went there, and as I'm not handing my ticket because it's on my phone, getting my phone scanned. The guy who's scanning my phone, so he scans it and he looks up at me. He's this shorter guy, he's an older gentleman. He's got this wry smile on his face, and he goes he looks at my phone, looks at me, he's oh, this is the movie you're seeing, kind of looking, he goes, Santa's come and gone, so I guess you can be a little naughty, huh? Because because to be fair, I'm going to see a movie called Baby Girl, which is an erotic thriller, at 11:45 in the morning. So he's like, oh, I think he thought I was like going there to like get horny. Like and I'm like, no, I'm here for like cinematic reasons. And then he started, because do you know?
We're gonna eventually address the fact that you went to see Baby Girl at 11:45 in the morning, but that might not be today.
I like going to see movies like as early as possible because I like walking out of the theater and the sun's still out. I still have part of my day like that's left. You know? And like, what else am I gonna do? It's December 28th. I don't have a fridge.
It's so true.
So like, what else am I gonna do?
Fair.
Like,
all right.
Anyway. And then he starts talking to me about how, because in this movie it's about like a very powerful woman who gets into sort of like this submissive relationship with like an intern. He kept talking about how he always wanted a sugar mama, but it doesn't work out like it does in the movies.
I wish all of you could see my face right now. I can't even imagine myself A, going to see this movie, but B, at 11:45 a.m. That it is too early for that kind of behavior.
So that was the highlight of my Christmas vacation or holiday vacation, if you will. Getting slut shamed about to go see a movie that was pretty good. It was like a 3.5 star type of movie out of 5. Like, it was good, but it was okay.
Am I gonna have to watch this so we can discuss it?
No. A movie that I did see though, Rachel, is called The Brutalist.
Okay.
It is about like an architect. It's probably gonna win. It might win Best Picture. Like it's.
So I should watch that one.
Guess how long it is.
2 hours and 51 minutes.
No. You're low.
What?
Guess how long this movie is.
Like 3.5 hours.
3 hours and 40 minutes.
Absolutely not.
There was a 15-minute intermission.
What is this? The Sound of Music?
It felt like I was at the theater.
The theater.
The theater. And it was, again, 11:45 in the morning. I think it was New Year's Day I saw it, 11:45 in the morning. The theater was packed to the brim.
What?
It was packed to the brim.
Who are these psychos?
It was all people with gray hair. I've been doing this thing lately, I've noticed, where I've been going to see movies like early on like weekends, and everyone in that theater is at least 40 years older than me.
Okay, so when are we going to address the fact that you and I are both like 82-year-olds in like 28-year-old bodies? Because I feel like that's a thing.
I have my nice little routine. This, by the way, and we are not sponsored by them, but I want to give a shout out to Cineplex for the Cineplex Cineclub membership. That is the best deal. Like any movie lovers out there, that is the best value you can get as a consumer for a deal, like a subscription service in Canada. Period. Point blank. It is $11.99 a month. You get one free ticket, like general admission ticket.
Okay.
Pays for itself already.
Yep. Especially for you, who goes to movies every other day.
I go at least once a week. I didn't go last week though.
Ooh.
So I'm a bad cinephile here. Bad cinephile. So you get one free ticket.
Okay.
And then general admission tickets now are like $16.99 or something.
What?
Yeah, like general admission tickets are really expensive. However, you get 4 Cineclub member price tickets, which are $9.99 to use, and you get 20% off concessions. And on top of this, as you're getting these discounts, you're still getting the same amount of scene points. So
that's lit. Okay.
So I basically get 2 free movies a month from scene points and from the free thing. Plus, you're saving basically almost half price on general movie tickets for 4 others. And if you see one movie a week, like I do, a crazy person, but that makes it like you're getting like 2-3 movies free a month basically, and 20% off concessions. It's phenomenal. I love it.
All right then. That has been Mike's movie review.
That's been Mike's movie corner. However, speaking of money, Rachel, how much do you think Jerry Jones is worth? His net worth?
Okay, so it's less than the tech tycoons, but the Cowboys themselves are worth like $5 billion.
Yeah, and keep in mind too that he gets his money from oil.
Right. So it's less than Amazon. It's less than Apartheid Clyde, Bezos, and Gates. But he's probably $11-12 billion.
16.1.
Okay, I'm not that far off.
Yeah, 16.1. However, the majority of which can be accounted for as being his ownership stake in the Cowboys. But yeah, $16.1 billion.
It's a lot of billions.
So if you have $16.1 billion in the bank,
It's pretty good.
How much do you think $500,000 matters to you?
I was actually having this conversation with somebody the other day, like scale of money.
Yeah.
So like, if you have $16 billion and like somebody has working a $100,000 job,
Mm-hmm.
$500K is basically the equivalent of them buying like a Big Mac.
Okay, so it's basically a Big Mac then.
Yeah.
Like
it's nothing.
So it's nothing. So the Dallas Cowboys.
It's less. I believe it's less than 1%.
So keep in mind, like right now, if you had an employee who in their contract was like, if I basically come into work one more day.
Yeah.
You owe me like in my contract it says you have to give me a free Big Mac.
Yo, you know how quick I would be at work.
Would you then purposely schedule another person to take his job for that day, so that person to come in on the shift that day, so that person could not get their Big Mac?
That depends. Am I a psychopath or am I normal?
Keep in mind, you're Jerry Jones.
I would absolutely be scheduling somebody else.
That is exactly what Jerry Jones did to Cooper Rush yesterday.
So here's the thing about this. Trey Lance should have been playing this whole time.
You should be playing the whole time. However...
So, there's a part of me that's like, okay...
Well, that's why he can hide behind it. Because it's like, we want to get a look at Trey Lance. He's a free agent.
Well, great, you probably should have gotten to look at him the moment Dak Prescott got hurt.
However, your season doesn't matter. You're done. It's over.
You're done.
You might fire the coach. Probably won't.
He might walk.
He might. Yeah, he might walk. Like all that. Whatever. The Bears put in a request to interview him.
Because he can, as of Monday, next Monday, he can go and interview. If I'm the Patriots, I'm like, hello.
Exactly.
But I think
if I'm the Patriots, I'm going Ben Johnson.
No, I think they're going to hire Mike Vrabel, former player.
That's true.
And former coach.
Yeah, I think.
Not of the Patriots, but
I think they're gonna go hard on either Vrabel or Ben Johnson.
I think Ben Johnson would be perfect for Jacksonville because
he's not going to
Jacksonville. They actually have a quarterback.
He's not going to Jacksonville because they didn't fire their GM.
Which is
also bonkers. How the fuck? Okay, anyone watching this, you could be unemployed. You could whatever. I don't.
We need to let's make it a hockey comparison.
I'm just thinking
I have the comparison.
Who's the comparison?
Firing, what's his name, Doug Peterson, and keeping Trent Baalke would be like if Hockey Canada fired Dave Cameron and kept Peter Anholt. Good thing is, they're keeping neither. Thank God.
So, I can't waste a segue like that. Because I would have liked to go further deep into the Cowboys, but I cannot waste that segment. Or that segue. We might as well just get into Hockey Canada now.
Yo, I'm so angry.
It is
so mad.
I tweeted this and I have to and I stand by it and I'm going to repeat it because obviously if you don't know hockey Team Canada, despite having the best hotel and the biggest dressing room and the most resources
and being on
money,
home ice.
And they're on home ice, and they had a month-long training camp to get ready for this and everything. They come in 5th. They lose to Latvia, which is the biggest upset potentially in World Junior history. And Dave Cameron comes out and says he likes the process, he likes this, whatever. They left off, I think it was 8 of the CHL's top scorers, 8 of the 10 CHL's.
8 of the top 10 scorers.
Yeah. And so what I tweeted...
including the top 2 scoring defensemen.
Yes. Who both somehow got 30 goals as defensemen, which is something that hasn't happened since the 90s or something. It's crazy. You had 2 of them. You kept both of them off.
Unhinged
However,
behavior.
Dave Cameron comes out and says his quotes after they lose. They get bounced by. They get bounced. They finish 4th place basically, or 5th place. Sorry.
Yeah.
Says, I like the process. This, that, whatever. I think Dave Cameron has a humiliation kink. That is the only way.
Okay.
I think that he likes to be humiliated. I think he likes to have people say mean things about him. I think that gets him off sexually. Because that's the only reason I can think for him to have the comments that he has had about what just happened.
Whoa.
That is
Whoa.
That is my conspiracy theory. Because in no other world...
Get the tinfoil out.
In no other world can a guy put up the performance that he did, which is one of the worst coaching performances, not just in World Junior Hockey, not just in junior hockey, not just one of the worst coaching performances in sports
I have ever seen.
He basically did what Matt Eberflus did in that Thanksgiving game, but like over the course of an entire tournament.
True.
It's the only explanation I can have for him to do what he did and then say what he said.
Okay, so there's a lot we need to unpack here.
I want you to just take it and run.
Okay, so number one, having Dave Cameron be the head coach and then Chris Lazary, who's the head coach of the Saginaw Spirit, be an assistant coach is really stupid because Ottawa, who Dave Cameron coaches, plays a style that basically resembles Jacques Lemaire Minnesota Wild hockey.
Like the trap, basically?
Yep. Yeah. And Chris Lazary plays like run and gun, score as many goals as you can. Saginaw won the Memorial Cup 6 months ago.
It sure did.
8 months ago. Do you know who was on that team, Mike?
Who?
Zane Parekh.
Okay.
And Michael Misa. Do you know which two players miraculously didn't get invited to camp?
I would have to say it's Zane Parekh and Michael Misa.
Yeah, you're correct. Wow! Okay, so, first of all, when you're putting together a staff, maybe put together a staff that is going to be able to strategize and thinks about the game. Like, I understand not having groupthink, and I do agree with that, but you need to stylistically have coaches who are at least, like, in the same ballpark. So, like,
there has to be cohesion.
When Canada put together the bench for the Olympics, Mike Babcock was at the top, right? But then you had Claude Julien, Lindy Ruff.
Yeah.
Like, all of those guys conceptually think about hockey the same way. They have different systems and different, but conceptually, they think about hockey the same way. And that is why they're able to work together.
Yeah.
Dave Cameron and Chris Lazary would be like if you put somebody from the 1960s on a bench with somebody who was literally putting people on a moon in their own personal rocket ships. Like, Chris Lazary is doing things that haven't even hit the NHL yet, because they're that far in advance. And they put him on the bench with Dave Cameron.
It's basically like putting a monkey and giving him an iPad and expecting him to type out, like, Shakespeare.
Yeah. So that was mistake number one.
Mm-hmm.
Then we get to selection camp.
Oh, boy.
Don't invite Beckett Seneca.
No.
Who was picked 3rd overall.
Or Tygan La.
So he had, the reason he wasn't selected was he had shoulder surgery the day after camp was announced, and he's out for the season.
Okay, well then Dave Cameron, scot-free then.
Scot-free.
So, and I say Tej, sorry, I said Ty.
Carter Yakimchuk.
Yeah.
Leading the WHL defenseman in scoring.
No.
Not invited.
Michael Misa, exceptional status, you know, like...
Averaging 2 points a game.
2 points a game,
Not
something we
invited.
haven't seen since, like, McDavid and you know, Bedard and guys like that. No.
Zane Parekh.
30-goal defenseman.
Record-holding OHL defenseman.
No.
Not invited.
Not needed.
Can't have that. Okay, cool. They do invite Andrew Crystal, who is averaging this season 2 points a game.
Yeah, and
in
it's
the
a thing
WHL.
we haven't seen since, like, the McDavid and
Yeah, and like Gavin McKenna, who thank God made the team. Okay, so
but also never got put in a position to actually...
we're not even there yet.
Yeah, okay, sorry.
So now we're at training camp, and 2 of the guys they invited get hurt. Okay, we gotta bring 2 guys in.
Oh, man. Well, this is... Honestly, getting those guys hurt was like a get-out-of-jail-free.
It literally was.
Like, it was...
This is what I'm going.
They f***ed it up, and then something happened, and it's like, all right, guys, redemption time, like...
And they got it right. They invited Beckett Seneca
Yep.
and Zane Parekh. Okay?
Cool.
They're going to make the team.
Awesome.
And then they go to camp.
Mm-hmm.
And Zane Parekh wasn't elite. He was certainly one of the best 7 there.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly one of the best 7 there. Beckett Seneca scored a hat trick in one of the 2 games they played. So pretty hard to make the argument that he wasn't one of the better players there.
And it also bogs my mind, like, I get that selection camp is, like, important because the coaches are seeing this with their own eyes and all that, but, like, you're really going to pick a team like that judged on such a small sample size of, like, simulated action?
So I haven't even got to the best part of the
continue.
Beckett Seneca thing yet. From the time he wasn't invited to camp to the time he was because of injury, he played 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
In those 3 games, how many points do you think he had?
9.
14.
Holy shit. Oh my god.
So he took the Michael Jordan meme to heart. This man said, I took that personally.
So what, he had 5 in 2
He had 5,
games?
5, and 4.
That's crazy.
Okay. I'm just going to point this out.
Okay.
Beckett Seneca in those 3 games had more points, more than double the amount of points than any Canadian forward had in the entirety of the World Junior. Not ideal. And last time I checked, from that point on, he has nearly 30 points. So...
That's crazy.
Okay. Zane Perek and Michael Misa,
Yeah.
since the beginning of training camp to now, have averaged 2.5 points a game for Saginaw. Without their coach.
My god.
So I said in my ESPN preview, and you can go back and read it because it was December 13th that I wrote this. So long time ago, a month ago, literally. Canada's biggest problem is never a lack of talent.
No,
It is always 3 things.
hit me.
Undisciplined penalties.
Yep, which we saw
Woo!
in droves.
Shaky goaltending.
Oh,
We
yeah.
did not see that this year, thankfully, somehow. And coaches making really poor decisions.
I would even add a 4th. Politics.
Yeah, that is...
Coaches making bad
Coaches
decisions.
making
Yeah,
really
it's
poor
all
decisions.
lumped in, yeah.
So, we're at training camp. We're not taking Seneca, and we're not taking Perek. Okay, cool. Awesome. Well, we need guys who can kill penalties and provide energy and be disciplined. Boy, howdy. So Canada led the tournament in penalty minutes.
Mm-hmm.
The guys that they took to kill penalties were the ones that took penalties.
Yeah.
And their power play finished nearly tied with Latvia.
Latvia's a good team. I mean, they beat a team like Canada.
Should, under any circumstances, Latvia be beating Canada at the
No.
World Juniors?
I remember, I don't want to get all boomer here, but I remember back in my day when Canada would play Latvia or Kazakhstan or Austria or Belarus
Or Germany?
or even Germany too, and they would absolutely goddamn speedbag them.
Braden Shen had 7 points in one game at one point.
I remember back in my day, before this utter woke nonsense.
Utter woke Actually, this
nonsense.
might be the opposite. Utter boomer nonsense.
Utter boomer nonsense. That Canada would play a country like that, and by like that I mean a country that doesn't have the resources or isn't synonymous with hockey, and would murder them on Boxing Day. Or now they've actually given Canada real opponents
On Boxing Day?
On Boxing
Like
Day.
Finland?
They gave them Finland and stuff like that. But I remember a time back in my day when Canada would play a Latvia.
They would kill Slovakia. Never mind Latvia.
When they would and it would be 12-0, and you'd have to turn the game off because it was too tough to
The
watch.
last time the World Juniors were in Ottawa, I went with my dad.
Mhm.
I was there for the tournament.
Mhm.
I watched Canada play Kazakhstan, and I'm pretty sure they won 16-1, and Jamie Benn had 9 points or something.
I remember that. Those are the kind of performances I'm thinking of.
Right.
Yeah, when Braden Shen put up 7 points.
And this is where I'm getting at. So okay, maybe you don't take Beckett Seneca and Zane Perek because you had to invite them after, and maybe that makes you look bad. That just tells me you probably don't know what you're doing. Andrew Crystal is literally averaging 2 points a game. He is one of the best power play players in the entire nation. They didn't take him. But here is where... this is the one that really pisses me off.
Oh, boy.
Okay?
Uh-oh.
They did take Porter Martone
Mm-hmm.
and Carson Rakoff.
Yep.
Okay, cool. So you took them. You took them. So this is where I start to twitch, because now you took them. Great.
They're on the team.
I'm so happy. Mike, if you ask any scout in junior hockey,
Yes.
who is the best line in junior hockey right now?
Yes.
They are going to say Mississauga or Brampton Steelheads, Carson Rakoff, Porter Martone, and whoever the hell is playing on their left wing.
Mm-hmm.
Their chemistry is outrageous. It is legitimately...
So naturally, you have those two guys on the team.
You
would
play
probably
them
play them together, right?
Well, like, wouldn't you? Kind of like, when you have 3 London Knights and they all play on the same power play unit, you would think that you would just tell them to play their natural positions on the power play unit.
Remember, like, what's the most famous Olympic team for Canada, like, hockey that you can remember?
2010.
Exactly. What was a line? It was Thornton, Marleau, Heatley. That was a line on that team.
Yeah, and then Perry and Getzlaff were not another.
And remember when Canada won gold because they brought Chris Kunitz, who was Sidney Crosby's line mate, for the sole
that
purpose
was a big brain nonsense thing, but it worked.
But it worked. And they brought him to play specifically with him because they played so well together. And they won a gold medal.
So Carson Rakoff also...
He was a healthy scratch.
Leads Canada, like in the CHL, in power play goals. Leads the nation.
Cool. So when they were naturally, that's pretty cool. So when they were naturally gonna have to shake some stuff up after they lost to Latvia, who did they take out of the lineup?
Porter Martone. And they put Carson Rakoff in.
Yeah.
Wouldn't want to put them together.
No. But of course, Carson Rakoff wasn't playing.
You know who Carson Rakoff may have benefited playing with because he's a pure shooter?
Who?
I don't know, maybe Gavin McKenna. Who, by the way, somehow managed to get 9 minutes of ice time in one game.
The guy who's potentially
he's
going to
go first overall next year.
Depends. They're saying like if the only reason he wouldn't go first overall is if the Rangers get first overall and they take James Higgins. That's it.
No. He's next year.
Oh,
not
sorry.
This year.
Yes.
He is literally next year.
I keep getting these guys mixed up because they're so. At this point, any birthday that's after like 2002 to me is like you're all the same age. You're all the same draft class.
So now we've already covered the mistakes they made in selecting the team.
Yeah.
So you leave off Crystal, you leave off Perek, you leave off Seneca, all of which were at camp. You leave off...
Before you even started the tournament.
You
blew it,
stupid.
basically, yeah.
And that is before... You also left Yakimchuk at home, you left Misa at home.
Yeah.
Like, you're already boned. Like, I could make a power play unit better than the one they carted out there with the guys they left at home.
Absolutely.
Hilarious. Now we're at the tournament, you dance with the guys that brought you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Matthew Schaefer gets hurt.
Yes.
As their best defenseman. Matthew Schaefer gets hurt.
Gosh.
They have an opportunity.
Gosh dang it.
And Bob McKenzie, the Bob father, says they have an opportunity to bring Zane Perek in to run their power play. And they don't.
Instead, they put a guy at the top of the power play in Oliver Bonk. Good defenseman.
Okay, so, and this is, I'm so glad you brought that up. Easton Cowan, Oliver Bonk, and Sam Dickinson have one in common.
What?
They play for the London Knights. On the top power play unit. Oliver Bonk gets put on the top of the power play unit for Canada.
Well, naturally, he's done that before, right?
No.
So when... And also, so... It makes sense. And so when he gets interviewed, naturally, he's going to maybe say something along the lines of, oh, I'm doing my best, right? No. He's going to say, I've never done this before.
Right. Oh, well, who are we going to put there? I don't know. Maybe the guy who plays there on his own team. So then finally, and I'm pretty sure it was Chris Lazary who did it, because that's what I heard. Basically, it was like, I've had enough.
Yes.
Sam Dickinson, you're going at the top. Oliver Bonk, you're going in the bumper. Easton Cowan, you're going on the left. Literally 13 seconds into the first power play they do that, what happened? Oliver Bonk scored. Nobody saw it coming.
Now you're saying Easton Cowan, but based on the my Twitter timeline that I'm seeing, I think you're actually mispronouncing his name because I think it's usually pronounced Saddam Hussein.
Okay, so I'm so glad you brought this up.
That is how hard they're going on this kid when he is still one of the best players in the OHL.
Okay, so here's the thing about Easton Cowan. Did he perform well at the World Juniors?
No.
Did anyone
No.
for Canada? Except Carter George, the goaltender.
Did Easton Cowan also lead the team in scoring? Yes.
Yes.
However, okay.
Not a high bar.
Yes.
But here's the thing. Did he perform well? No, he did not. That's great. Did he take the 5-minute major? Did he take the penalty that cost them the game against Czechia? No. So he didn't score. Okay. Neither did anybody else. And quite frankly, part of the reason he didn't score is because the ridiculousness of how the roster was constructed made it so that other teams could simply just roll out their best defensemen against Canada's top players and not even have to worry about the bottom six because nobody was capable of scoring. Like, it was genuinely unbelievable the way this roster was constructed. It was constructed to fail, and it was written about and talked about on Twitter by every single person. Stephen Ellis, Scott Wheeler, Corey Pronman, myself, Cam Robinson, Lauren Kelly, anyone worth a lick in junior hockey. Jeff Merrick, who never calls out anybody,
No, he's very
goes, you're having trouble scoring, and this is your decision?
Yeah.
Talking about Carson Rakoff? Like
it makes no sense. Now, Rachel.
So after they lose, what happens?
Well, I was going to say, like, and this might sound unrelated, but do you know the moment that I realized that and maybe I didn't notice it at the time, but looking back, the moment I should have realized that the Leafs in the Keefe era were never going to win anything?
What?
It's when they lost to their own Zamboni driver, and
True.
the next day they canceled practice.
I am so glad for getting here.
Because there's really no other way where to go at this point. Canada loses to, and listen, no disrespect to Latvia. That is
a game you should win.
Yes, that is a likable team. Am I somewhat equating Canada losing to Latvia as the Leafs losing to their own Zamboni driver who was like 47 years old?
Yes.
Somewhat.
First time it's happened for both.
Exactly. What does Canada do? They cancel practice. Because, and keep in mind, so this is where all the like where Dave Cameron and anyone who put together this program just falls down completely, because the excuse that they had for canceling practice, they never practiced after a loss.
So they actually, I have the practice schedule.
Yeah?
They practiced one time the entire tournament.
So
one time. One time.
That is also starkly...
I'm gonna tell you one time.
Exactly. Vintage Justin.
Yeah.
However, like, that is starkly different. I was in Halifax for 2023. I covered that team, an unbelievable team. Dylan Gunther, Shane Wright, Connor Bedard, Brant Clark.
Remember when they had to drag Connor Bedard off the ice at practice?
Exactly. Like, I saw him have to get, like, I saw, like, this arena staff have to tell him, like, basically Zamboni, like, nudging him off the ice. They can't... Team Canada never practiced after a loss, and Dave Cameron, the excuse for that was, we're a tired group. We're an exhausted group.
So
the tournament is 5 games.
Okay, so this is what I don't understand. And there's a tinfoil hat theory going around, and I kind of believe it.
What is it?
The players weren't too tired. Dave Cameron was too tired.
That's the only excuse, because the tournament's like 5 games, and you didn't have to have like a month-long selection camp. So if you want to say, there's 2 ways. Either we can say...
Also, it's not like you're playing more than any other team in the tournament.
No, also, you have no travel. You're in Canada. Like, it's not like you're going across, like, the world.
You're going to a hotel.
Yeah. You have the nicest hotel. You have the biggest dressing room. And you have the most money and resources towards the recovery. Like, Canada has everything they could have asked for.
Yeah. What do you mean you're tired?
And so there's 2 things. Either A...
These players are used to playing 3 games in 3 nights in junior hockey. What are you doing?
And then hopping on a bus for 12 hours that goes across, like, frozen tundra. Like, this is crazy. Like, they're used to basically, like, Tokyo drifting on like, glacier black ice.
Yeah.
Like, risking their lives to get there. And then, on top of that, it's like, okay, so either the players were tired...
Which I don't buy for a second, because Porter Martone and Carson Rakoff were back in Brampton the day after they got eliminated and practiced for an hour and a half.
Exactly. So either Dave Cameron is just stupid, which I think
full of shit.
Or full of shit. Or 2, the players were tired. And if they were tired, it's because you put them through like a military basic training for no reason. Well, no other team had like a month-long selection camp. No other team burnt their entire roster out before the tournament even started.
And what an indictment of the players if they are too tired. You are representing your country.
This is like a dream. This is like people like you are...
You don't think Zane Parekh would have committed like a crime?
And also, like, keep in mind, they're players that never did in the NHL after
There are some players, this will be the highlight of their career.
Okay. Yeah. Like, I think...
And I can name quite a few of them that are on this team because they're not going anywhere near the NHL.
Like, I think back to, what's his name? Oh, man.
Angelo Esposito.
I
knew exactly where you were going.
But I'm even thinking, like, Colton Tubert, you know? Like,
yep.
Who's the guy... he played for the Marlies really briefly, but he was a second-round pick. Stefan Legion.
Yeah.
I think of, like, Stefan Legion, Justin Pogge. You know, guys like they're players who are in the annals of history. They didn't do anything in the NHL after that.
No.
But they're, you know, in the Jeff Glass, for example.
Cody Hodgson,
like
Jordan Schrader.
Exactly. These are guys, you know, like that
World Junior stars
that never did anything in the NHL, but they are synonymous with hockey in Canada. They are always showing up in the
Tyler
commercials.
Steenberg and Golden.
Oh yeah, there you go. Like, just incredible stuff. This is an important tournament. There's a reason why people hype this up so much. There's a reason why it's become like a tradition to watch the World Juniors over the holidays. And so if you're tired, suck it up, man.
Bro, I don't even care. Don't care.
It doesn't matter. Like, jump in the cold tub and go back out. Like,
so then we get to silly penalties, poor coaching decisions. Dave Cameron can't even put lines together properly. Like, just genuinely a disaster all the way around. And then they get eliminated.
Yeah.
And after they get eliminated, they decide to hold a press conference.
Mm-hmm.
It is outside of, like, Chicago Blackhawks press conference during the Kyle Beach scandal is, like, top of the list. Then there's, like, the Hockey Canada 2018 press conference. Like, the criminal stuff is at the top of the list. From a hockey-related perspective, this is one of the most tone-deaf press conferences I have ever heard.
Without a doubt.
We like our process. Okay, you just finished 5th, and you
for the second year in a row.
God-awful.
By the way,
if you like your process, you don't know how to critically evaluate yourself.
You gotta get out of here. Because also, like, this is not just like, you know, like, there's sometimes teams just don't gel, and you have a stinker. You just drop a turd in the middle of the ice, and that's it. You know, like there are times where, you know, you go into a tournament, the team doesn't gel, guys are cold, and well, you know, next year we'll figure it out. Sometimes teams sputter, sometimes, you know, the President's Trophy winning Tampa Bay Lightning gets swept by the Columbus Blue Jackets. It shouldn't even be the playoffs. But
usually when they run it back, they're not worse the next time.
Exactly. However, this is now 2 years in a row. 2 years in a row, and now this time it's also on home soil.
Like, do you think the last time this tournament was in Ottawa? Do you remember who the coach was?
Was it Pat Quinn?
It was Pat Quinn. You think Pat Quinn is waltzing out there and saying that?
Pat Quinn is haunting that team right now.
He's like, how dare you?
Pat Quinn is haunting that team.
So, this is where I'm at with it. The tone deafness of the press conference, we like our process. Okay, well, immediately, you don't know how to evaluate your process, you gotta go. The line that irked me the most...
What irked you the most, Rachel?
About that press conference was, we had problems developing chemistry. And God bless whoever came back with the follow-up question, which was, wouldn't practicing more help develop team chemistry? And this man looked him dead in the eye and said, no. How do you think you develop chemistry? Do you think Carson Ragoff and Porter Martone developed chemistry just because they appeared out of thin air? Or Michael Misa and Zane Perek? Like,
you ever seen the movie Zoolander?
Yes.
So you know in Zoolander when Mugatu, when they bring Zoolander to that day spa or whatever they want to call it, and they strap him in that chair and he gets brainwashed?
Yes.
I think that's what happened to Dave Cameron and all the scouts and everything, except instead of like you got to kill the Prime Minister of Malaysia thing, it was they made them watch the Allen Iverson, we're talking about practice.
We talking about practice.
Not a game.
Not a game.
Not the game that I die for. We're talking about practice. And I think they made them watch that and get brainwashed because they clearly were like, they had the mentality of, we're talking about practice.
Practice?
Practice.
Not a game.
Not a game.
Well, here's the thing. Allen Iverson in a game didn't perform like that.
No, you sure didn't.
Certainly did not perform like... So, okay, how does our power play get better? I don't know. Mike, what do you think?
Maybe score some goals.
Practice?
Maybe you practice. Maybe you make... Well, look. How does your power play get better? You bring Zane Perret. But if we're not going to do that, if for some reason we're going to put one hand behind our back for no reason at all...
Then we should use that hand.
At least practice. At least use that hand to practice, exactly. This is, there needs to be... First of all, this couldn't have happened to a better group of people.
Yeah!
I'm glad that the one thing that pained me when I covered that Canada gold medal in Halifax was we were fresh off 20. We hadn't even had the main press conference yet where everyone got charged. We know who these players were,
right?
Allegedly, that had gotten.
Well, no, they have been charged. They haven't been convicted.
Okay,
they're not alleged. They've been charged.
So charged, yeah. The one thing that sort of held me back from celebrating was oh man, this is gonna look good on Hockey Canada. But you know what, Hockey Canada needs, and obviously nothing will ever make up for the pain and just horror,
But now they're a mess on and off the ice.
And being a mess on the ice is kind of, unfortunately, the one thing that will make change happen.
So they have the one press conference, and it was poor.
It was horrible.
It did not go well. The next day, they put Scott Salmon out.
Yeah.
And he was, I don't know who got to him, but somebody definitely got to him and basically was like, you can't, we got to X-nay with that tone.
Yeah.
You can't take that tone. And he said, he's like, I think we need to evaluate our process, and Peter Anholt's term is up, and he's not going to be coming back, to which everyone was like, well, thank God for that.
Because...
But here's the thing. Why is it, this is what I don't understand, you're Hockey Canada.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm Mike.
Well, you're... Yeah. But... Hockey Canada, yes, you got some of your funding stripped, deservedly so.
Oh, yeah.
But we're talking about, a program of excellence here.
Mm-hmm.
The U.S. has the NTDP, which is fantastic, and I think it's a fantastic idea.
Absolutely.
Right? But there's no scenario where Hockey Canada can't afford to have a full-time GM of, make the guy the full-time GM of the World Junior team and the U18 team. So he's got to run both programs, basically make it a program of excellence.
He should run he should run U18, U16. He should run.
No, there's so there's U17.
There's Ivan Holinka.
U18 is Holinka.
Yeah.
So there's multiple U18s, but it's the U18 age group and U20.
Yeah, he should do all that.
He should do all of that. Have the same. They have it for the women's side.
Do what soccer does. You have a coach.
Yeah, but exactly. Just
that's your guy.
Hire.
So there's continuity. So people know what system they're coming into. So junior teams don't have to sacrifice their coach in the middle of the season.
Or GM. Peter Anholt's the GM in a Western Hockey League team.
Yeah.
Right? And first of all, I don't know how you could watch the Western Hockey League and be a GM and think, yeah, we don't need Carter Yakimchuk or Andrew Crystal.
No, it was politics.
I literally don't even know how you could arrive at that.
Well, you can...
Politics or not, I don't know how you could arrive at that assessment.
It's the same conclusion where the guy can look at Bill Peters and think, I want to hire that guy as my coach. That's the same.
Well, same guy. So that checks out.
It's the same guy, right?
Literally
yeah. So
the same guy.
No one.
So we liked the process of the guy who hired Bill Peters. You know what? I'm starting to think that maybe the process might be bad.
I'm starting to think this guy might not make very good decisions. I'm starting to think maybe he might not be the best decision maker. So maybe let's not put him in a job where his only job is to make decisions.
You know what? That's a good idea.
I think it's a good idea.
I think that's a good idea. So next year, they're going to bring somebody else in. Hopefully, that person is in a more full-time capacity.
Hopefully.
I'm not going to hold my breath.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Canada has so much depth of skill that they could have had players who are averaging 1.75 points per game playing on their fourth line.
Yeah,
they could have just rolled their lines and been like, come and beat us. Imagine if Michael Misa was playing against fourth liners from Latvia. How do you think that would have gone? Probably a little better than it went this time around, right?
It's the way they chose their team was like every dumb rumor for the Four Nations Cup that we heard. Remember that where I said they're
trying to build a team to when you're saying we got to build a team to win a cup because we got to go on this long run. We got to have checkers and penalty kills. It's a 2-week tournament.
It's a tournament. They built their team.
Why are you building your team like you're going to win a cup? None of you are winning a Stanley Cup.
Remember when like the names, like the potential dark horse candidates for
Colton
Team Canada.
Parayko and Tom
It
Wilson.
was Tom Wilson and Adam Lowry.
Adam Lowry.
They basically chose their team based on that criteria, and it was insane, just insane.
So now we've seen that it doesn't work.
Yes.
Okay.
So what do we do? Where do we go from here?
I have an idea.
Okay, what's your idea?
Take the best players.
Okay.
Stop trying to fill roles, because I guarantee you...
You did it. You fixed it.
I fixed it.
Oh my gosh, guys! Rachel, she cracked the code.
You that if a guy is good enough to have 2 points a game, he probably has penalty killed once or twice.
2 points a game against, like the WHL or the OHL or the QMJHL, whatever, like against that competition. You're playing in round robin. You're playing against guys from Latvia, guys from different like Czechia, Slovakia, like
Dalibor Dvorsky was playing in Sudbury last year.
Mm-hmm.
Edward Shala was also playing in the CHL last year.
What, I would say...
Eric Smatejko plays in the Q right now, the Latvian forward.
Would you say... Okay, and this is a genuine question. Would you say the average strength of competition in the let's say in the CHL is worse or better than the average strength of competition in the World Juniors?
Oh, it's better in the CHL.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if that guy's killing it in the CHL, you would assume that they do pretty well in the World Juniors when the average level of competition is a bit lower.
One would think. I think once you get into the semifinals and the finals, then obviously it's going to be
the States or guys. Yeah.
Yeah, like if you're playing the States, Sweden, Finland, okay,
yeah.
But Kazakhstan had one guy who was playing junior A hockey. Okay, cool. Latvia has 3 guys that are playing CHL level. What are you doing?
It's crazy.
So basically, they're not going to learn. But if you want to learn, it's actually not hard. Just take the best players.
There you go.
Just literally, don't fill a role, don't do anything. Just take the best players.
I think we need to have some levity, Rachel.
Ooh, I like levity.
Because we were going to talk about the Miller and Pedersen feud and all that. I think we should just wait, and there will likely be
That's still going to be ongoing by the time
by the time
next week rolls around.
By the time we record next week, things will still likely be the same. So I think it's time to play.
I mean, I hope they're not.
I hope they're not, but they will I highly doubt either of them will get traded by next week. I highly doubt both of them will have broken bread by next week.
I definitely don't think that's happening.
We'll wait. We'll talk about that. However, I think it's time to play another edition of our favorite game, Who He Play For.
Ooh, I love this game. Wait, is this like a World Junior edition?
No.
Okay.
No. It's NHL edition.
Okay.
I would never do that. Also, it's not like you can get traded from Canada to U.S. Okay.
Canada has acquired Zeev Boyle.
Exactly. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so another edition of Who He Play For, which is basically I say a player, and Rachel has to tell me what team he plays for.
I got 4 of 6 last time.
You did surprisingly well last time. However, this one might be a bit harder.
Oh, good.
However, but we'll see. Who knows? I thought last time was going to be really hard, and you nailed it.
All
so
right,
who knows? Okay, let's start with Luke Glendening. By the way, all these guys are still in the NHL. They all still play, and they all have played at least, I think it's 15 games this year. So it's not like I'm getting some AHL journeyman who's done one game.
Okay. Columbus?
No.
Damn it.
You get 3 guesses.
Okay. Luke Glendening. Damn, I would have thought it was Columbus. He played in Detroit for
He did, yeah.
He was Mike Babcock's pet.
Babcock tried to get him into Toronto.
Oh my god, I remember that. Okay, it's not Utah. Let's go... It's not San Jose.
Keep in mind you have 3 guesses, so you can...
Yeah. Nashville?
No.
Okay, West or
East? East.
Oh, it is in the East.
Mm-hmm.
Goodness gracious.
Want me to nail it down to the division?
Nope.
Okay.
Because I know it's not the Atlantic. It is in the Metro. Unless he plays for oh, maybe he does. No, I'm pretty sure it is the Metro.
Give me your guess. You have 10 seconds to give me your guess on this guy now.
Carolina.
No, it wasn't the Atlantic. He plays for Tampa.
He plays for Tampa?
He plays for Tampa.
I was sitting there going, I don't think he plays for Tampa, but then I couldn't remember who their fourth line center was.
No, he plays for
Wow,
Tampa.
he does
That's
play for
him.
Tampa.
You got it. Next one. Former Leaf for a very brief time. Nicolas Aubé-Kubel.
Oh. Washington?
No. He did.
Was
he
in
played
Washington.
There. He played there after, like, he got put on waivers in Washington.
Oh my god, I just saw this the other day.
He's one team removed from Washington now.
Right. He was in Colorado.
Yeah, then he came to the Leafs. Then he went to Washington. Then he went to another team.
Yeah.
And now he's on his current team.
Seattle?
No. Those are two guesses. You have one left.
I just saw this the other day.
10. 9.
What conference?
East.
Oh, he
8.
is in the East.
7.
Shush, I can't think.
6.
It's not the Islanders. Is it Tampa?
No.
I don't know then.
It's Buffalo.
Okay.
0 for 2. All right, moving on. Thomas Nosek. Or Nosek, however you want to pronounce it.
Zero idea. I didn't think that guy was still in the league.
He's still a regular.
He's still kicking?
Florida. Plays for Florida now.
Yeah, no, there's no chance I would have got that.
What about Brandon Duhaime? Former Wild.
Yes.
I will nail it down for you. He is in the East.
Yeah. Is he Carolina?
No.
No. Okay, so he's not Toronto, he's not Montreal, he's not Ottawa, he's not Boston. He's not the Rangers, he's not the Devils. Is he the Devils? No.
That's not a guess. I won't
No,
count that.
he's not the Islanders, he's not New York. Is he the Canes?
No. You keep guessing the Hurricanes.
Yeah, because they always have, like, obscure players.
I will tell you, none of these are Hurricanes.
Okay.
You have one more
Brandon
guess.
Duhaime.
Yeah.
Columbus?
No. He plays on Washington.
See,
Next one, though, you might get.
I literally just saw him play.
Yeah.
That's why. Okay, I just saw him play. I was at the Caps Leafs game.
Yeah.
In the third row.
Come on, you have no excuse. All right.
I saw that, by the way, that Logan Thompson save on Nylander.
Yeah.
I was like 15 feet
That's
from.
unreal.
Disgusting.
But no, he shouldn't be on Team Canada, right?
No.
Logan Thompson? No.
No.
Okay.
Once again.
This guy, I hope you get him. You know, former Ranger, former Devil, Brandon Smith.
No.
You don't know where Brandon Smith plays?
No.
Yes.
See, this man really said who he played for and said, I'm gonna fuck her over.
Because last time I was like, I got the hardest list, and you went like 5 for 5 or something right after that. I'm like, God damn it! Like you got like one, and you were like almost right on the last one.
Okay,
So
Brandon
like,
Smith.
in the West.
Calgary?
No. Plays for Dallas.
Yeah, no.
Josh Mahura.
He was on waivers. He's also in the West.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. He's not Dallas.
No.
No. Utah?
No, but like kind of close-ish to like same sort of vibe, same sort of color scheme, kind of.
Seattle?
Yes.
Okay.
Plays for Seattle. Mike Riley.
Islanders.
Yes. There you go. All right. Nick Blankenberg.
Oh, he got traded.
He did.
He got traded in the... Oh, what deal did he get traded in?
It was pretty early in the year.
Yeah. I want to say he got traded out west.
He did. Got traded out west.
Is he Nashville?
Yes.
Let's go!
There you go. Redemption. And the last one. Ross Johnston.
That seems like an Islander.
He used to be an Islander, and Lou Lamoriello gave him a 4-year contract, if you remember.
Yeah, okay.
He is not an Islander anymore, though.
Is he in California?
Yes.
So he's a duck or a
He's
shark.
a duck.
Yeah, okay.
There you go. I had to end it with 2 straight ducks.
Ducks. Quack, quack, quack.
So again, I finally was able to stump Rachel for a couple.
Yep.
So you gotta bone up on your random hockey players.
Clearly.
So this has been another edition of, and by the way, there are very few opportunities where I get to stump Rachel on things. So I take my victories where I can get them.
Good job.
Thank you. Appreciate it. You will kill me for this, but it's okay. Has been who he play for. Now, Rachel, before we leave, we obviously have our lifeline. We have kind of 2-ish. One I'm gonna spring on you because it's about current events. But we'll do the other one is a player in the KHL.
Yes.
What was his name? Do you remember?
Can't pronounce it. I'm not gonna lie to you, and I don't want to butcher it.
So either way, he's playing a hockey game.
In the KHL.
Going through the neutral zone, something seems to fly out of his pants. People go, "What the heck? Is it like a thing of padding that falls out?" No, it's a cell phone. And I want to know why.
What are you doing?
Like, you can't be texting on the bench. Like, your coach would see that, right? Like, it's like you can't be. And also, like, who is so important that you have to text during a game?
Are you that addicted to your phone that like it has to be in your? I don't understand how that could happen. Like
You know what he's doing?
we used to have like when I was in Jersey and Vancouver, like guys would like be focused, like they pulled into the rink.
Oh yeah.
And like they were like, I gotta go, babe, or whatever. Like I'm not using my phone, like that kind of stuff.
Also, like a lot of guys, like they take like pre-workout or something before a game.
Yeah.
Which is like when I take pre-workout, like before I run or something, like
You
I'm not.
are a psychopath.
I'm not like I don't
Normal.
look at anything. Like I'm just like it's designed to have you focus on one specific thing. This is just nuts. But you know what he's doing? I figured out.
He's Snapchatting.
No, he's watching the Costco guys
No.
on the bench. He's looking to see what they're gonna give 5 big booms. Oh, which speaking of, oh my gosh. Okay.
Oh no, I did see
Did you
it.
see the funeral?
Yes.
Oh my god. Why couldn't we have waited to talk about the Costco guys until that live stream clip showed up? It's like, sorry to hear about your brother or someone who died. We're gonna give him 5 big booms. And they go boom, boom, like, but you know what? And I tweeted, I'm like,
tears
but then I
laughing.
think, is there any greater honor we can bestow upon the dead?
And 5 big booms?
I tweeted, like, if I die, like, tomorrow...
You want 5 big booms?
And I'm telling you this, Rachel, as my friend. If I die tomorrow, like, I walk out of here after we record and I get hit by a bus.
I will pay...
Ensure that the Costco guys give me, in my honor, in my memory, 5 big booms.
Okay, not 6 and not 4.
No, it has to be 5. Because 5's... The boom meter only goes up to 5.
So what if I got them to give you 6?
But the meter doesn't... You can't go past the meter.
What if you're so cool you broke the meter?
Okay, that'd be pretty cool.
Right. So he's watching the Costco. I need to, like... What if we find out this guy just, like, got kicked off the team today? Like, would that surprise you?
No, because you're putting... Where do you even put your phone in your pants? Like, that's the thing. Like, does he put it in his waist bit? In his waist?
Yeah, 100%.
So then it gets all sweaty.
It's disgusting.
That's gross, man.
But, like, what is happening that your cell phone is... Like, I can just picture scouts at the game and they're like, wait, what?
I just don't get it. Like, I just don't understand. Like, did he... The only other
He's Snapchatting his girlfriend or something like that?
The only other explanation is that, like, he was late to the rink and he came, like, like, half-dressed like
Are
he
we
did.
sure it wasn't Tony D'Angelo who
It
was,
might
like,
have been.
burner tweeting?
It might have been. He doesn't even have to burner tweet anymore. He just tweets from dumbass from his normal account.
New York, yeah, not New York Ranger fan 76814 or whatever it was.
Yeah, he just goes Tony D'Angelo, and then...
I mean, at least put your name on it now.
Yeah, exactly. The other lifeline, it's more of a concept, is because I'm not sure if you've been noticing what's going on at Fox Sports 1 lately. Have you been noticing that?
No.
Really?
Why am I terrified?
Oh, I don't know if... Okay, maybe I should wait until next week to talk about this, because there's a lot of backstory here. Basically, it's a bad way to segue because it's an ongoing lawsuit, but basically a hairstylist at Fox Sports 1 put a lawsuit out.
Okay.
It's a class action.
Oh.
Okay. And it's basically
multiple people involved then.
Well, it's technically class. It's civil. Like it's not criminal. She's seeking obviously like monetary because
so class action is like
is multiple people. But however, like there might be multiple people that come out. I'm not sure.
So it could be class action.
But I've read the whole 42-page lawsuit it's all my Twitter is talking about right now. By the way,
is this the Joy Taylor thing?
Yes.
I saw 5 tweets today about this, and I wanted to throw my phone off the balcony.
I've read every page of that lawsuit.
Isn't Skip Bayless involved in this?
Skip Bayless offered this woman how much money? By the way, she denied his advances.
Good for her.
As any normal person would.
Yeah.
As any person with eyes and a brain would.
And ears, for that matter.
Despite that, and I guess because this is a lawsuit, so everything here is alleged. However, how much money do you think Skip Bayless offered her to engage in activities with him?
Okay, what
Ballpark.
Activities?
Sexual relations.
Okay.
Which, by the way, the fact that he's offering an employee, like a coworker,
is already. I'm really glad that you went there.
Absolutely insane.
Stop doing that.
Like, if proven true, everything that everyone involved in this, except for the plaintiff and Colin Cowherd,
yeah,
who like imagine getting name dropped in a lawsuit where it just says he was nothing but gentlemanly and professional. Which I know is the absolute bare minimum, but...
So I was wondering why I was seeing his name all over Twitter being like, in a world of Skip Bayless's be a Colin Cowherd. Well, now that makes sense.
Well, the one I saw was like, man, Colin Cowherd really pulled up to work, respected women, and shot out the shittiest football takes you've ever seen and then went home. That's my king.
Way to go, king.
But how much money do you think in the lawsuit is alleged that Skip Bayless offered?
Oh, it has to be a lot, right? Like it's got to be like $500,000.
$1.5 million.
What?
1.5 million. He allegedly, as this lawsuit says. However, like keep in mind.
Why are you doing that's like
that's insane.
What is wrong with
Skip Bayless, who is married, by the way.
Not for long. I'll pay you
$1.5 million.
You are a psychopath. And you know what? Good for her for turning it down. For being just repulsed by that. Because that is awful behavior.
And obviously
First of all, you're not putting a dollar value on sleeping with somebody. No. I think that's so deplorable and disgusting.
That's psychotic.
And as a society, we have got to be better.
Yeah. But why I bring this up is because, there's a lot about allegedly with Joy Taylor. And again, I don't want to get too further into specifics here just in case this all turns out to be phooey and it's like completely ruined her reputation. However, a lot of facts are adding up here, but again, don't want to get sued.
Right. Allegedly.
What this brought up is a lifeline because we saw some tweets about texting your ex and we talked about the thing. This made me think, what's your policy, Rachel, on dating coworkers?
Well,
Wonder what that policy is with you.
Okay, so in my department, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Upper left, across, absolutely. You are in my department. You're lucky if I'm your fucking friend.
I'm friends with everyone in my department at work.
No, in terms of like, so when I worked, I guess we're going here. When I worked at the Devils. I met this lovely, at the time, intern. Her name was Paige. She was a PR intern. Hockey operations and PR were the only people on floor one because that's how Lou Lamoriello wanted it. And that's how it stayed. Her and I became best friends to the point where, like, we're going to
still hang out. Yeah.
Yeah, I literally just dropped, like, hundreds of dollars on her kid for Christmas.
Amazing.
She's going to be in my wedding. Yeah. I was in hers. Like, we are best friends. We got each other through so much shit. I would never, ever, ever date in my department. And that's, by the way, that's the only person from the department that I still talk to. Because co-workers, generally speaking, not to be trusted.
Yeah.
However, if it's somebody in your company that you meet, people meet at work all the time.
Yeah.
As long as you don't have a direct working relationship with them, it's fine.
My policy on that is like, I think also we have to live in a world where people are adults and people meet at work all the time.
Yep.
However, I also think that you get one chance to ask someone out who you work with. You get one chance.
Yeah.
And if they say no, then that is a door that is closed to you forever. And
you don't get to circle back.
I have seen a lot of that in my time. If you ask that person, if they either say yes or they say no. If they say no, that door is closed forever. You never, ever look back.
And also, don't go out with this person if they're already dating somebody else.
Well, yeah, that goes without saying. But
like you can like them all you want, but it's one thing if you ask somebody out and you don't know, because sometimes you're attracted to someone, you don't know that they're dating somebody, and you just ask them out. If they say, I'm sorry, I'm like seeing somebody or whatever, then like, okay, cool, like you leave it at that. But if you deliberately start like asking them out and you know that they're with somebody, like, yo, don't do that.
And don't offer them $1.5 million. Allegedly. But still.
Don't do that. But no, I would say on coworkers, specifically if you work in sports or want to work in sports, and I hate that I have to say this, but I think it's very valuable, and like Mike has done a really good job of like bringing me back from like the depths of the crap that I dealt with working in hockey, in terms of like just being a friend. But like when you work in pro sports, because it is so cutthroat and everybody talks and it's an old boys club, my honest to God recommendation:
date outside the industry.
Not only date outside the industry, or like just at a minimum like your department, but number two, anybody that you have a working relationship with, like in your department, be very careful about what you tell them in terms of your private life, because they can and will use it against you. And it is a really thing, but it is an unfortunate reality of pro sports, is anytime they're looking for an excuse to fire you, anytime that, or try and get ahead of you, anytime you've told them something about your personal life, they will use it against you.
If you give them ammo, they
absolutely can't trust them. And the only reason Paige and I became so close is because both of us were getting stabbed in the back by the same people in our department, and the only way we were going to be able to manage is because we came together and said we will support each other, and our support for each other extended outside the workplace. Like, I had her back outside the workplace, she had my back outside the workplace. That's continued.
Well, on that note, I would urge you to donate to Jumpstart, our charity of choice. Donate $1.5 million per chance, and you will get a lot more out of it.
For sure.
Jumpstart is our charity of choice. They help economically disadvantaged children play team sports, which is a cause that is near and dear to Rachel and I's hearts. All of the links for anything will be in the description of this episode. So please, if you are able to, donate. And Rachel, I guess we will see each other and our lovely listeners next week.